Hey, yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful afternoon. Earlier today, I was at Poutine Fest, and it was a very fun event in Wyerton. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So tomorrow is Labor Day, the day when we celebrate labor unions, or at least supposed to be the day we celebrate labor unions. The sacrifices made by workers and the progress gained by workers through that sacrifice. I wonder if people understand exactly why it is that we celebrate Labor Day. Something tells me that that's been forgotten, which is very sad because we need to remember why we care about Labor Day if we're going to continue to remember Labor Day the way that we should. Yeah. Anywho, I've been asked why I'm an atheist, why I decided to be an atheist, usually. I didn't make a decision. I did not decide to be an atheist. I arrived at atheism by the tried and true method of having been raised and indoctrinated as a Christian for my entire childhood and my entire adolescence. The message of Christianity was hammered home to us continuously at school, through the media, etc., etc. We had Christian indoctrination on television, in the classroom, everywhere. And we were taught to be Christians. We were taught that Christianity was the only option. And we believed because, well, we were children. And the grown-ups were telling us to believe this, and would the grown-ups lie? Well, and by the time we were old enough to wonder if the grown-ups might be lying, we were already pretty firmly indoctrinated. The inconsistencies of the Bible had already been glossed over to us and explained away to us, so that we were prepared to believe what we were being spoon-fed. And we were quite comfortable believing what we were spoon-fed. This, of course, brings up the problem. What happens when you reach adulthood and you are suddenly exposed to new ideas? Ideas that are not part of mainstream society. Well, and you start to have some real questions. I was exposed to non-Christians. And I started to wonder, since these non-Christians don't conform to what I've been told non-Christians are like, maybe I was lied to about other things as well. And I began studying. I still could not bring myself to accept atheism. Absolutely not. Atheism was beyond the pale. There had to be some kind of a God. But my exposure to the pagan Wiccan community led to my gradually joining that community and acknowledging the fact that, yes, the gods, plural, of Christianity are indeed very much made up. And it took a while longer for me to accept the fact that, yeah, and so too are the gods of the pagan Wiccan complex. They too are made up. Because, yes, I come from a culture where believing in a god is pretty much the norm. So not believing in a god is pretty hard to achieve. But when I finally did get there was no real change about who I was. I continued to be myself, the same person I have always been, and I understood at last. A person's character is not shaped by their religious beliefs. Rather, how they act upon their religious beliefs is decided by their character. A good person, whether they believe in a God or not, will always be a good person. A bad person, whether they believe in a God or not, will always be a bad person. Character is intrinsic. Religion is the wallpaper that we put over it, and then we try to attribute everything to the wallpaper. The wallpaper is not the structure, though. The wallpaper is not the structure. The religion is not the character. My character, my moral character as an individual, transcends whatever religious beliefs have been spoon-fed to me. And as a result, I continue to be the person that I am. I suppose that reasonably I would be considered to be a good person. I have been told by people who are still Christians that they have a hard time believing that I am not a Christian, because they see somebody who conducts themselves in a moral and ethical manner, somebody who helps others, somebody who tries to contribute to the well-being of the community as a whole. And they don't understand, many times, how I can do this if I'm not a Christian. And so once again, I have to explain that I am not a religious belief, I am a person. And my character is not shaped by religious beliefs, but rather it is how I interpret my religious beliefs, or the lack thereof, that is defined by my character. Character comes first. A person's character comes first, and then what they do thereafter is shaped by their character. Something to think about.